Hi there everybody, I hope that you're safe, I hope that you're well, and welcome to the Flourish YouTube channel if this is your first time here. In this video, I would like us to explore the need, the overwhelming need, the addiction that we sometimes have, may have, do have when it comes to technology. When I'm talking about technology, I'm talking about those items such as your phones, tablets, iPads, laptops, gaming consoles, Kindles, computers. I don't think I've forgotten anything there. I'm talking about those tech items that allow us to stay connected. And the thing is though, what we have to bear in mind is that the thought when life gets too much, when it all gets a bit too overwhelming, is that what I'd suggest with my school kids, with my clients is, maybe to have a screen-free Sunday or a digital detox where we just have our phone off for a certain period, maybe go off radar holiday. But the thing is though, even though they're really good for the here and now, it's not going to help you possibly in a week or two. And let's face it, tech is here to stay. So during the pandemic, we had to use technology more than ever. Before the pandemic, it was very much about communication and about entertainment. But then during the pandemic, it was about literally getting by, and that was with connecting. One of the only ways that we could connect with our friends and family. And we had social gatherings online for some of us. And then it was actually about not only the entertainment, but about the learning. And with the learning, it was kind of having to do that homeschooling, that home learning from our computers, from our laptops or our phones. So it has been, we have had to use tech more. But the question is where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Do we continue to have achy hands or eye strain or poor posture? She says, I'm just going to make sure I sit nicely. Or actually, is it a chance where we can try and find the right balance for us? For some of us using technology, is that it's about that social, emotional connection that we can have with other people. But also what we have to ask ourselves is, what is it about the technology? What is it about those tech items that you enjoy the most? Is it because you have this fear of missing out if you're not checking your phone? Is it the fear of not staying up to date if you're not on news or listening to gossip? Is it this fear of missing out? There's all these different things that actually we have to take into consideration of why do you use that tech? What is it that you use that tech for? So for me first, I'd really like you to just think about what tech is your number one. Is it a gaming console? Is it your phone? Computer? What is it? Just ask yourself, what is your number one tech item? And then it's about just realizing that. And from realizing these small little things, we can actually do something about it and just build that self-awareness. So the first thing that I need us to know is that actually there are people paid out there that are employed by these big firms that are encouraging us by designing the websites, the games, the social media sites. They are there to create and make us almost more addicted. So when we say, oh, just check that out, I've got 5 minutes. And it's actually about how we can sometimes turn 5 minutes into a lot longer. So don't forget that there are people out there that are almost making it so much harder for us because they are employed to make us, keep us going and keep us on that particular device. Another thing I'd like you to do is, and I believe that you can do this for your phones, iPads, tablets. I'm not too sure about gaming consoles. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer. I'm pretty certain I could be if I had the time. Mario 3D World's pretty awesome, I do know that. So I'm not too sure about gaming consoles, but what I'd love for you to be able to do is just check your usage. And I know that you can definitely do that on phones, iPads, and tablets. just find out, where are you at? Just find out, what is your usage? What is your main use on your phone? Because then again, building that self-awareness, we can do something about it. Now, when it comes to those devices, those tech items that we have on us more often compared to being on an Xbox or a PlayStation, is that there's this thing called notifications. Now, with a notification, which might be a ping noise, it might be, you might have your phone that flashes, whatever it is, whatever way that gets your attention, is that produce this moment, this particular moment where you can get instant gratification. By checking your phone, you want to do it, boom, you do it. So there's that instant gratification. The thing is though, like I said, it's about getting that balance. So one thing that I'd love for you to consider is, certainly on your phone, is to go to that kind of those notification settings. Look through what apps have permission for you to have those notifications, and just ask yourself, does every single app need a notification? Do you need to be aware? Because sometimes if you can just turn off those notifications, it's not going to stop the notification coming into when you open that app, but actually, do you really need to know? Do you really need to hear your phone go off? Because actually what happens is, if we're surrounded by friends or family, or maybe if we were to be doing some homework and we hear it, boom, we're going to that. So actually just consider, maybe reviewing your notifications. And even if you could do, for me right now, at least take 2 notifications off. And if you're a young person that likes to have those notifications of the news, just ask yourself, is that helpful, or does that cause you more stress? Just ask yourself that. So here's some steps that we can do to kind of learn to take that balance. One thing, like we've just said, is about recognizing and kind of adjusting maybe the notifications on your phone. It's about adding that blue light filter, putting that sleep schedule in. Then that means that we can actually have that sleepy hormone at nighttime called melatonin creep in, rather than having that light, that blue light that will stop that from creeping in. So add that schedule to your phone, to your computer, to your tablet. I'd also want us to consider maybe going to bed without our phones beside us, because sometimes what happens is, in the night we'll just check it, and then we check one message, and then we're kind of sometimes awake. Also, when we've got it beside us, we might check the time more often. And if you're somebody that struggles to sleep, then that might just make you feel even more frustrated that another hour's gone past and you're not asleep. So maybe one thing that I do kind of encourage, this is hard, is to maybe move your phone out of your reach in the morning. Often what happens, I'll try and do a bit of role play here, but often what happens is you'll pick up your phone maybe to turn your alarm off, but then you'll check, and it'll be kind of a one-eye check, and then it'll be like so bright, but you'll carry on going on your phone, and then you'll just be waking up, and it is literally, you're squinting, you're tired, you're half asleep, and then it'll be like, okay, let's do 2 eyes. I hope I'm not the only person here, but when we grab our phones in the mornings, it just takes away that natural ability to wake up. Some other pointers that you might want to consider is actually how much time you can waste when it comes to taking pictures or selfies or adding a filter to them. That actually sometimes, have you got time to waste doing it? Possibly not. So it's just about spending your time wisely. When it comes to gaming, it's maybe about setting an alarm, literally setting an alarm. So then you're having that ability to know that, okay, when the alarm goes off, right, that means that I've got to come off. Because sometimes if we're just waiting until we're ready to come off or to stop, on that particular game, that might not happen. So what it is it's about you learning to take control of what you can do and when you can do it. And my last point is about maybe what you can do is use different tech for different activities. So if it's schoolwork, then maybe let's go back to using that, computer, tablet, I don't know what you guys use. But maybe if you can try and use a different piece of tech. If it's gaming, then it's game. If you're on your phone, it's kind of just allowing yourself to use those different items for different things, just so then we're not constantly on the same thing, which I suppose I'm hinting towards you being on your phone. So it's just about breaking it up. It's about realizing that sometimes when we are so kind of on our phones and in the moment, actually what we stop doing is we stop lifting our head up and actually realizing what's going on around us. And sometimes that's when you miss the opportunity to see wonderful things, to meet new people, and to actually have a break where your eyes can just rest, your hands can just feel normal again. So it's about you taking control of your relationship with tech, because if you don't, your technology will take, that addiction will take over with you sometimes, and that's not fair on young people, not when it is so involved. And let's face it, tech's not going anywhere. So one thing that I will be doing in the future is I really want to do a video, which I'm hoping to organise, about online safety. So this is just a quick shout out to make sure that if you are online, if you are in these chat rooms and things like that, please just make sure that you stay safe. If you have any questions, if anything just doesn't feel right, then just tell an adult, tell a parent, call Childline, do something about it, rather than when you might say or send something that you might later regret. So yeah, just stay safe online, and I will see you guys for a video next week.